everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Harry's Situation. I say good morning because I am recording this at the crack of dawn. I know it's been a minute. I've been radio silent for almost 2 weeks, but for good reason. I've been working diligently behind the scenes building the Harry Situation YouTube channel. We're talking guests, full video content, and deeper dives into these topics we explore together. In fact, I'll be filming the first interview this week, and it's on today's topic, which is sleep. You won't believe the location, but I'll give you a hint. It's a perfect place to take a nap. Stay tuned because I'll be sitting down with Tucker, a guy who's been guiding folks towards better sleep for years. You won't want to miss it. Now, let's talk about why I probably need the interview more than anyone. I've had every kind of sleep schedule you can imagine. For years, 10 a.m. was what I called a productive morning. When I was bottling whiskey in Nashville, I had to be up at 5:30 just to get that line rolling. Those mornings were brutal, but when I was bartending downtown Fort Lauderdale at Lucky's Tavern, completely different world. I wouldn't even see my bed until 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. if I was lucky, and waking up before 2 p.m. felt like breaking some cosmic law. Between late shows, early studio sessions, church bands, college all-nighters, and tours that blurred into time zones, my sleep has gone through more personality changes than my ex, or a really advanced soap opera character. Sure. Listen, if you've been simultaneously juggling the hearts of emotions of 3 people trying to keep them all hooked while being completely unsure of what you want, you're not going to sleep. Or when you finally fall asleep, you find yourself frantically finding ways to jump off Jacob's ladder in a manic spiral, wondering what the future is going to bring next. You can count on tossing and turning all night. But this episode isn't about poor life decisions or self-inflicted chaos. This one's all about the other reasons you can't sleep. The physical, emotional, neurological, and sometimes just the plain weird ones. Because let's be honest, sleep isn't just rest. It's therapy. Your body gives itself for free, and most of us keep missing that appointment. Whether you're a 5 a.m. overachiever, a musician crawling into bed at sunrise, or someone who treats 10 a.m. as a brunch prep, we're diving into the real science behind sleep. Today we will cover how much sleep you really need, and why too much can hurt, why you're still tired even after 8 hours, the healthiest sleeping positions and what they actually mean, the mental and neurological triggers that hijack your rest, how breakups and stress wreck your REM, and what to do when your brain decides 3 a.m. is the perfect time for a deep personal reflection and highlight reel of your worst moments of the week. Let's figure out how to actually rest, not just lie there pretending to. Now that I have my coffee, let's get into it. Let's start with the most basic question. How much sleep do you really need? Most adults need between 7 to 8 hours per night, according to Utah Neurology 2023. But here's the plot twist. According to a Gallup poll in 2024, nearly a third of Americans admit to getting less than that. Now sure, there's that rare genetic anomaly, people with DEC2 gene mutation, who can function perfectly fine on 6 hours, according to Science 2020. But that's less than 1% of the population. It's kind of like winning the sleeping lottery. So if you're running on 5 hours and bragging about it, no, you're not a superhuman. You're just slowly becoming bad at everything. Too little sleep affects memory, judgment, and emotional regulation, according to Walker 2021. It's why after 2 bad nights, you start picking fights with your toaster. And yes, you can sleep too much. Consistently getting more than 9 hours has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease and cognitive decline, according to U2 Health San Antonio 2023. So balance really is key. Here's a quote. As neuroscientist Matthew Walker put it, sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our brains and body health each day. Okay, we tackled that. But what if you got 8 hours, maybe even 9, and still wake up tired? Why? That's when we talk about sleep quality. A noisy environment, a bad mattress, or even untreated sleep disorders like sleep apnea can fragment your sleep cycle, according to Hopkins Medicine 2025. So even if the clock says 8 hours, your brain's been running laps. Also, and this one hits close to home, inconsistent sleep schedules mess with your internal body clock. Back when I was touring, my sleep schedule looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. Some nights I was up till 4 a.m. Others, I had to be up for a 6 a.m. flight. My body was confused, like, are we nocturnal now? I'd get home, crash for 10 hours, and still feel exhausted. Turns out, quantity doesn't mean quality. Sometimes going to bed and laying there trying to fall asleep can be really frustrating. So how can we fall asleep faster? Experts at the Cleveland Clinic suggest cognitive wind-down routines, progressive muscle relaxation, slow breathing, or visualization, like picturing something calm, like saddling up a cow and taking it for a ride. Weird, but oddly calming. If your mind races at night, like mine has this entire week, because you have somebody new coming into town even though you already had plans and now you're awkwardly trying to justify canceling. You know who you are. But anyway, what I'm saying is that when your mind races at night, you are rethinking all the awkward things you have said for the last decade. To mitigate that nighttime mental jujitsu, you can try something called a mind dump, which is exactly what it sounds like. Write down everything in your mind before bed. That externalizes it, and your brain stops treating it like an open browser tab, according to Everyday Health 2025. There is also something that we should try to avoid. Researchers call it revenge bedtime procrastination. Staying up, scrolling because it's the only, quote, me time that you have, according to Sleep Foundation 2025. I get it. I've been there. It's like saying, sure, I'll sacrifice tomorrow's sanity so I can watch one more highlight reel tonight. Your brain can't power down if your phone never does. Sleep, by the way, isn't just one long nap. It's a series of stages that repeat themselves throughout the night. Healthline 2023. So stage 1 is light sleep. You drift off, your body jerks like it's been pushed off a cliff. Thanks, brain. Stage 2 is stable sleep. Heart rate slows, body temperature drops, and you start to lose awareness. You spend about 50% of your night in this stage. In stage 3 is deep sleep. This is physical recovery mode. This is when your muscles repair themselves and the hormones release. This is also the stage that when you get yanked out of it by a 5:30 alarm, it feels like getting out of another dimension or waking up in a hostage situation. Stage 4, REM sleep. This is the dream territory and the crown jewel of sleep. Creativity, memory consolidation, emotional processing. Miss this and you wake up foggy and forget why you walked into rooms. Deep sleep and REM alternate every 90 minutes or so, like the body's own symphony. Miss one movement and the rest just feels off key. Now, let's talk about what's really keeping you up. Chronic stress increases cortisol, your body's alert hormone, which delays melatonin, your natural sleep cue, according to Healthline 2023. Anxiety keeps the brain in what researchers call hyperarousal, a state where your mind treats 2 a.m. like it's showtime, according to Everyday Health 2025. And neurologically, your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, becomes more active when you're sleep deprived, which makes small worries feel catastrophic, according to Walker 2021. Oh, that explains why I felt manic all week. Breakups. That can create its own kind of insomnia. Studies show emotional distress triggers higher adrenaline and disrupted REM cycles, according to the Washington Post 2025. And that feeling gets even more intensified if there's ambiguity, manipulation, or if the sentences end with, I can't do this right now. That's so confusing. Which gives a sense of lack of closure and manipulation, triggering your emotional center into having false hope. That's why post-breakups, your bed feels like both a war zone and a memory foam museum of pain. Bottom line, your brain and emotions are in constant negotiation. If one is worked up, the other won't rest. Emotional wounds heal during REM sleep. If you skip it, you keep bleeding emotionally. And there is an unholy trinity of bad sleep: caffeine, alcohol, and screens. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours, so that 4 p.m. coffee or after dinner espresso martini is still dancing in your bloodstream at 10 p.m., basically giving your brain's neurons permission to have a sloppy karaoke dance party all night, according to Washington Post 2025. Alcohol might knock you out really fast, but it suppresses REM and causes fragmented wake-ups. That's why the nightcap sleep feels like a hangover with manners. And screen time, that blue light tells your brain it's noon, not midnight. Health.com 2025. One study from Nature 2025 showed that just 30 minutes of phone use before bed delays melatonin by nearly an hour. So yeah, scrolling at 1 a.m. might not be insomnia, it's self-inflicted jet lag, without the enjoyment of actually taking a trip. Okay, let's get physical. That's just my way of making sure you haven't dozed off during this episode. But if you have, I hope you rest well. Let's talk about positions that can actually help you do that. Sleeping on your back with legs slightly raised supports spinal alignment and circulation, according to Sleep Foundation 2025. Now, that's my go-to, and apparently it's one of the healthiest. Left side sleeping reduces acid reflux and supports digestion, according to Advent Health 2023. So if that 1 a.m. spicy tuna roll is simply unavoidable, sleeping on your left side is your friend. Right side, not so much. That's the Reflux Express, according to Journal Watch 2022. Here's a pro tip. Regardless of what side you sleep on, throwing a pillow between your knees actually helps with your spinal alignment and circulation. The fetal position is the most common. It's cozy, protective, but not ideal for your spine long term, according to BBC 2023. Stomach sleeping? That's terrible for your neck and your back, according to Today 2025. This is also a good litmus test for your chiropractor. If he tells you to sleep on your stomach, it's only because he's trying to put his kid through college. Where you sleep is also really important. So let's talk about the couch, the place where naps go to die. I've often crashed on plenty of couches in my time. Green rooms, rehearsal spaces, friends' apartments, and I can tell you, comfort is an illusion. The truth is, couches aren't designed for sleep. Their cushions are too soft and uneven, which can throw your spine completely out of alignment. According to research from Zanskar Health 2024, prolonged couch sleeping can lead to chronic pain in your neck, back, and even the glutes due to poor lumbar support. And Mattress Firm 2024 points out that the floor is actually better for your posture than your sofa, which says a lot about modern furniture priorities. When you fall asleep on a couch, you're basically setting yourself up for a night of half naps and full regrets. It can also mess with your sleep cycles since you're dozing in an environment that's actually associated with TV and activity, not rest. As one sleep expert put it, soft doesn't mean supportive. Your body needs structure, even in rest. So if you've been treating your couch like a second bed, it's time for an intervention. Your spine and your future self will thank you. All right, now let's talk about some heavy stuff. Sleep disorders affect millions, and most don't even know they have one, according to Hopkins Medicine 2025. The most common is insomnia, difficulty falling or staying asleep, often stress-related. Sleep apnea is breathing pauses during sleep, snoring, choking, grasping. It's more than annoying, it's dangerous. Restless leg syndrome? Yeah, RLS is actually a thing. That irresistible urge to move your legs right when you're trying to rest. Narcolepsy, sudden sleep attacks during the day. They're rare, but real. If any of these sound familiar, don't just power through. Seek a professional to help. Sleep medicine is an actual field, and trust me, the right diagnosis can change your life. Sleep disorders aren't a weakness. They're an untreated condition. So how can we actually sleep better? Keep a consistent schedule, even on weekends. Use the bed only for sleep or other activities, not work or other activities related to Netflix. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Around 65 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal. Sleep Foundation 2025. Avoid the couch. Soft doesn't mean supportive, according to Mattress Firm 2024. Try mindfulness or meditation apps like Headspace. They've shown measurable improvements in sleep onset time, according to Fortune 2025. And here's the big one. Don't fight your brain. If you can't sleep after 20 minutes, get up, stretch, read, and come back. You can't force rest. You can only invite it. So laying in bed repeating the words, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, or counting sheep is not going to work. You can't think your way into sleep. You have to relax your way there. So what did we learn today? Sleep isn't a luxury. It's maintenance for the human machine. We need 7 to 9 hours in quality cycles, not fragments. Stress, caffeine, alcohol, heartbreak, they all fight your body's natural rhythms. Your brain doesn't just rest at night. It repairs, organizes, and balances emotions. You can't cheat sleep. You can ignore it, fight it, delay it, but in the end, it will always win. So practice your sleeping habits. Protect that routine. Find your rhythm. Staying up till midnight watching reruns of Gilmore Girls is not going to help you. Turn off the screens, breathe, and let yourself power down. So here are my final thoughts. If there's one thing to take away from all this, is that sleep isn't a waste of time. It's the maintenance your mind and body need to keep running right. You can push through long nights, chase every deadline, and try to overthink exhaustion. But eventually your body cashes the checks your brain keeps writing. Sleep isn't an escape, it's preparation. It's where your body repairs, your memories organize, and your mind finally stops scrolling through the day. Whether you're waking up at 5:30 or crashing at 6 a.m., your body doesn't care about the clock, it just wants you to hit pause. So tonight, turn off the noise, drop the guilt, and give yourself permission to power down. Because you can always make more money, always write another song, send another email, or text that person back, but you can't make more sleep. And if you happen to wake up on a couch somewhere, just remember, soft doesn't mean supportive, and neither does stubbornness. Because there's somebody out there that loves you very much and really needs you to make rational decisions. Without sleep, that's simply not possible. In the end, sleep is the most human thing we do. It's where the world stops asking and your body starts answering. Whether you're dreaming, healing, or just trying to escape the noise, honor that time. You've earned it. Because life without sleep creates a lot of hairy situations. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on sleep. Thank you so so much for listening to Harry's Situation. Next week, stay tuned where we will be diving into the world of dairy. That's right, if you like cows, this next episode is for you. Milk, yogurt, cheese, butters, and ice cream. We will talk where it comes from, pros and cons, the industry of dairy, sustainability, and some common myths that might surprise you. See you there. Until then, stay curious, stay sharp, and keep rising. Thanks for listening.